And we're live. Hello. Right, so welcome to the third of my weekly show, the Weekly 10, and today I'm going to be talking about a gremlin. Not the film, no. This is something that we've all got, all built up inside us. It's the gremlin, or otherwise known as the I'm not good enough gremlin, or the fear-based gremlin. So basically what that is, it's the inner voice that tells you in one way or another that you're not good enough to do something. It's not what you are that holds you back in life, it's what you think that you're not. So that's what we're talking about today. Basically, fear. Gremlin is the name that we give fear. So it's the fear-based gremlin. It's the enemy of progress, the tool of tyranny, and it's also born out of ignorance and misguided thoughts. So that's what we all have built in our brain, which stops us living the dreams. It's stifled more ambitions, and it's shattered more ideals and prevented more accomplishments in history than anybody could imagine. So once you understand what the gremlin does and the fear that creates, you're able to move past these thoughts and actually use empathy and love, and actually start creating what you really want to do, rather than not doing the things that you dream of and plan and hope for in life. So many fears are based upon an ego, basically. So it's part of you that's focused on getting recognition in life. So protecting you from things such as social ostracisation, so making mistakes in public, for instance. The less judgment that you have, whether that be about you, yourself, about what you've done in the past, etc., or people around you, or situations, anything really. So the less judgment that you have in life, full stop, the less power the gremlin has. So the gremlin itself, it comes in many different disguises. It disguises its actions in different ways, and most of the time it's in a way that we don't notice. So it's things such as caution, doubt, worry, those sort of things. So if you've got one of those thoughts going on at any one time, that's your fear-based gremlin. Okay, so the gremlin only has one master in life, and that is understanding it. And if you understand the gremlin, you automatically take its power away, and it disappears, and it becomes what it really is nothing. The gremlin is nothing. So once you acknowledge your fears, the first step towards actually controlling them is understanding them. And if you understand your fears and where they've come from, you can move to the next step and overcome them, basically. So that's essentially what happens when we have the fear-based gremlin going on. It prevents us from living full out in life. It prevents us from living to the fullest in life, because we've always got this voice in the back of our head telling us, no, you can't do that. And at the end of the day, it's not a negative, it's a protective thing. It's actually stopping you from making a fool of yourself and doing things that could result in a whole array of things, such as embarrassment, for instance. So essentially, most people's fear-based gremlin is born out of something that's happened to you many years before in the past. Maybe at school, something that would have happened. For instance, if you've got different types of gremlins. You've got the I don't want to be embarrassed in gremlin, for instance. So an example of that would be if you had made a fool, or you perceived to have made a fool of yourself in the playground at school one year, and everyone laughed at you. You're going to have that belief then that you don't want to make a fool of yourself again in the future and have everyone laugh at you. So what happens is that belief becomes embedded into your consciousness, and it becomes unconscious. So then when you make, many years later, it could be whenever, you come to make a choice or a decision, that fear-based gremlin is going to be in the back of your mind telling you, don't do this because you're going to make a fool of yourself. So you might not do something, and you might not move forward because of that reason. So how many times has a fear-based gremlin stopped you moving forward in life and actually doing something that you really wanted to do? Ask yourself that question. So if you were to work with a coach, essentially what a coach would do is help you remove the power from the gremlin to start with. Again, by finding understanding, where's it come from? Where's the belief? What triggered this gremlin in the first place, and the belief that it's instilled in you. So once you understand that, once you understand where the gremlin actually started, you can change that belief to one that actually serves you now, and take away the gremlin's power over you. Because once you've acknowledged the gremlin, that it's not a negative, it's part of you, you can then say to yourself, thank you very much for supporting me and protecting me, but I don't need your help anymore, I can do this. And you don't have to be concerned about or worried about or fearful about making a mistake. Because once you've overcome that sort of belief, it's essentially no longer there. So working with a coach, that's exactly what we do. We would work with you to firstly become aware of your thoughts and how the energy blocks, which is what the gremlin is a block, interact with your thinking and create your reality. And it's as if it's basically someone else in your head telling you something. It's a little thing sitting on your shoulder. That's why it's called a gremlin. So it's basically acknowledging it's there for a start, and then understanding why it's there, and then changing the belief behind it, really. So I can help people do that. And the main thing that really helps when you're acknowledging stuff like this is the awareness. Because if you're aware of your thoughts and how they're triggering your emotions, your feelings, and how that interacts with your productivity, your actions in life, then you can change that. You can do something about that. So awareness is the first thing that really you need to really have to sort of bring the gremlin to the surface. Once you've done that, then you can embrace it as part of you, and see it as something that's positive rather than a negative, and that it's actually helping to protect you. And you can release its control by acknowledging it and letting it go. So if you're interested in finding out more about how your gremlin is holding you back, and how we can firstly discover it, and secondly get rid of it, then give me a shout, because then that's something I can certainly help you with. So I hope you've enjoyed the show today. It's a very quick show, and if you want to find out more about gremlins, there's I did a longer video a while ago about the 4 different energy blocks, because the gremlin is part of the 4 different energy blocks. They are limited beliefs, assumptions, interpretations, and the fear-based gremlin. And now, if you ask yourself the question today, how many of those are at play in my thinking that are stopping me moving forward? If there's a few of them going on, which I guarantee you there is, then give me a shout. Right, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. See you soon. Bye. I'll turn this thing off.